Okay, here's some Risk games that some of them I have and some of them I don't have that I took pictures of off of the internet. So you got Risk Assassin's Creed. This is one I don't have. We have Risk Skyrim. Here's another. Excuse me. Here's another one I don't have. We have Risk Vikings. This is again another one I don't have. We have Risk The Walking Dead. I do have this one. There is Risk Warhammer 40k. I don't have that one. Risk StarCraft. I do have that one. Risk Star Trek. I think 50th anniversary or something like that edition. Anniversary of Star Trek, not Risk. By the way, I do have that one. And they're going to have to update this because now they have some new Star Trek shows, I guess. Risk Doctor Who Dalek Invasion of Earth. I do have that one. Risk Halo Legendary. There's also Halo Wars. And I have both of them. I think I have a picture of Halo Wars later somewhere else down the line. I have that one. Risk Mass Effect Galaxy War, which basically it works just like Star, which I have this one. It works just like Star Wars, the original trilogy Risk, which they have both a Star Wars and a Star Trek, and a Star Wars original and prequel trilogy, and I don't understand why they haven't made a Star Wars current trilogy yet, but for Risk, but they have like 3 different Star Wars Risks. Excuse me. And then there's Risk Metal Gear Solid, which is probably what. Damn, coughing. Expensive one to find, and I have that one too. Risk Game of Thrones. In my defense, I got Metal Gear Solid when it was in stores. I have this one too, Risk Game of Thrones, based off of the Game of Thrones. Then there's Risk Marvel Cinematic Universe, and there's the Civil War Civil Cinematic Universe Risk. This one doesn't even play. Damn, like Risk. God, I'm coughing bad. And here's the Marvel Cinematic Universe one. I like it. In Risk Go, they have a Gotham City one that looks like, Batman Risk, which is Conquest of Gotham City, which kind of looks like just like this one, because this is actually Conquest of Manhattan mostly. There's Risk Europe. I have that one. There's Risk Rick and Morty. I have that one. There's Risk Lord of the Rings Trilogy. There's a Lord of the Rings that's not a trilogy, and then there's a Lord of the Rings that, like this one, that's not a trilogy. Then there's a expansion set that would you combine this one to, and it would make it a trilogy edition, but it also came with a Siege of Mount Rift game. There's Risk Plants vs. Zombies, which I have. There's a Risk Call of Duty Black Ops Zombies, which I have a few copies of this one, mainly because it was a GameStop exclusive, and people weren't buying it, so it got on clearance, and I managed to get them. There's Risk Star Wars Clone Wars and Star Wars Original Trilogy, and like I said, they play. This one doesn't, but this one plays like Mass Effect one does. And there's a Risk Narnia Jr. Excuse me, I don't have this one, but it looks interesting. There's Risk Jr. I have this one. And of course, there's Risk 2210 AD, Godstorm, and Legacy, which I have all 3. And have y'all heard about this Risk Shadow Forces? Looks like it's pretty cool. It's coming up. Then there's Risk Halo Wars. Like I mentioned earlier, there's Halo. This was first. Halo Wars was first, and Halo Legendary is the second. So they made 2 Risk versions. And you can theoretically combine both wars and legendary. And if you have 2 maps of legendary, because legendary has double-sided boards, you can theoretically create a 3-world risk game. A risk game with like 3 different worlds or 4 worlds, or whatever. Again, there's Risk Legacy, which it's a legacy game. You basically change up the game as you're playing the game. Still in stores today because it's that popular. I've seen it at GameStop. There's Risk 2210 AD, which is, it's pretty cool. It's like Risk in the future. It has like ocean territories, and you can conquest the moon. And then it was popular for a while and disappeared. But there's like a bunch of fan expansions and stuff of it. Pretty cool. And then there's the newest Star Wars Risk, which I really think was just a cash grab, because it's not really Risk. It's kind of Risk, but it's kind of different too. It does have a bunch of cool miniature spaceships, tokens, and of course there's Godstorm. Godstorm's pretty cool. I might be wrong, but I think Godstorm was the first one that implemented leaders. And those leaders were, of course, the gods. And it also changed the Risk with, each leader, god, having special cards. And then those cards having, powers and abilities and stuff. And also it brought where you could fight into the underworld. It, in 2210 AD, kind of came out around the same time. So, pretty cool. Risk Europe. Which is the newest version of Risk Europe, but they used to have one a long time ago, which was called Castle Risk. And there's, by the way, I have Risk Europe and Godstorm and all that. I have Risk and Castle Risk. I have Castle Risk. Castle Risk was the original Risk Europe. Then there's the English Heritage of Medieval England Risk. You can only get it from that English Heritage Society or whatever. There's Risk Battle for Rome, which is like one of the first times they try to do something different in the flavor of Risk. So it's pretty cool. It's a little bit different. It's Risk, but it is not traditional Risk. It is area control, but you can leave areas vacant. And you basically play in a skirmish game, squad-ish skirmish type game. And there's this medieval Risk. I don't have this. It's unauthorized Risk variant. I just saw it, and I was looking for pictures of Risk games. So, might be cool. And there's Risk Deep Space. I don't have this one. I think it's a Target exclusive. But if it's not popular at Target, eventually get a bargain hunt, and I'll probably find it. And there's Star Trek Risk, which I think I already showed you a picture of. This picture is terrible. Oops. There's Stargate SG-1. From everything I've read about Stargate SG-1, the game, it plays similar to Risk. So I'm just saying that it's a Risk clone with a Stargate feel, and it's not exactly Risk, but it's close. And then I really think this would be cool to get in America, this Risk of Batman, because Batman's really popular in the United States. So if we don't get this in the United States, the Hasbro, you're just failing at your job. Batman Risk. Right now it's Risco, so it's a European thing. but I saw it and I thought it was cool. Then here's one I don't have, which is really old. It's probably the second. This one actually might be the first. There's Risk Napoleon, which I think is the second Risk Europe, and there's an Ottoman Empire expansion set. But I think this one is. I think this one is Risk Europe. Basically, they did Castle Risk, which was the first Risk Europe. And they did this, which was Diplomatic Wars Risk Napoleon. But it's not all about Napoleon, it's really Risk Europe in the Diplomatic Wars. It would have been interesting if they have made a Revolutionary War Risk and a Civil War Risk, where they could have made both of those games literally in the same game. I mean, you could have made a Civil War edition and a Revolutionary War edition. Just flip the board, dual level-sided board type deal. But Napoleon in Europe and American Civil War are pretty cool games. I'm still looking for a copy of Napoleon in Europe. And here's a really older version of Risk Napoleon. They had two different editions. That's all the pieces. Then there's Risk Express, which was a dice game. Dice game Risk. Then we have Risk Transformers, and they had Transformers, such kind of Invasion of Earth, which I have both of those Transformer copies. Then there's the Risk Office Politics, which is just a parody Risk game. And then there's Risk Shadow Forces. And that was it with Shadow Forces. And then, of course, there's Risk Asterix, a game I don't have. Which is... Yeah, that's it. Anyway, remember, God is good all the time. All the time, God is good. Keep on gaming. Keep on collecting. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Jesus loves you. Jesus God. Jesus Lord. Jesus King. Jesus ruler of everything. If y'all want me to do something like this for other games that have a lot of special editions, I could do that. It might be easier to look them up through the Board Game Geek system than to take pictures like this, but I didn't realize that until after the fact. Keep on gaming, keep on collecting, like, comment, subscribe, share. Jesus loves you, Jesus God, Jesus Lord, Jesus King, Jesus rule everything, and have a great, wonderful day.